Gentlemen, let me take the opportunity to welcome you to the Grand Inga Virtual Conference. The African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that was initiated in March of 2018 and came into effect in March 2019 is a milestone in our continent. The trade deal is a flagship project of Africa's 2063 agenda. From independence to date, lack of infrastructure has constrained movement of trade and goods across the continent. The inter-African trade is the lowest globally, comparing to other parts of the world. But inter-African trade stands at only 15%, meaning that Africa trades more with the external world than with itself. And we're saying that this is something that can't be corrected. The major constraining factor which has inhibited intra-African trade is lack of infrastructure, which has made it difficult for goods to move from one country to the other country. That is the reason why the African Free Trade high-speed railway network, the open skies in Africa, which will enable air transport to move much more smoothly on the continent, and fiber optic connectivity across the continent. We, particularly here at this conference, want to focus on energy and habits to development in those African countries. The cost of energy in some African countries is too expensive to access energy. This cannot be allowed to continue to exist because it makes Africa less competitive and scares away investors from the continent. We need to deal with this issue of energy head on. And that's the reason why we convened this conference to talk about the Grand Inga. Africa is the richest continent in as far as the raw materials are concerned. Africa is rich in minerals than any other continent on earth. Yet Africa is also the poorest in terms of living conditions of our people. This paradox needs to be corrected or reversed. We need to find a way in which we can add value to raw materials which are available in abundance on the continent by doing value addition before we export them as raw materials. And that's why we need to address the issue of energy, because we cannot do value addition without sufficient energy in the continent. And then the Grand Inga. Grand Inga presents an enormous opportunity for the continent. And it cannot be developed as a purely DRC, that is a project of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And that's why we need to get African countries to move in and develop this Inga as an African project. We need to get countries to come in through the regional power pools to tap into this. We have several power pools on the continent. The Southern African Power Pool, the East African Power Pool, to address the issues of pool interconnection. This will help to bring down the cost of energy on our continent. We are working together with His Excellency President Felix Tshisekedi, who was consistently committed to working with the African leaders to make the Grand Inga hydropower project a continental project. Our goal is to work closely with and support President Tshisekedi to achieve this ambitious and audacious goal. The DRC is shortly going to be celebrating its 60th anniversary. It will be a good vote of confidence in the DRC if at that occasion His Excellency President Felix Tshisekedi can announce to the nation that finally the Grand Inga is on its feet, is on the way to being implemented and make it a reality. We hope to bring together the best minds from Africa and the world to come up with the basic framework that will demonstrate that the Grand Inga project is a viable, green, and sustainable. Let me conclude by reiterating that Africa counts depending on how we provide opportunities for them. Creating opportunities for the youth is the biggest challenge this continent faces now and in the decades ahead. We need to create millions of jobs for the young generation, and the time is not on our side. The future is moving towards Africa. But for Africa to accommodate the future and create opportunities, we will have to do more than exporting raw materials and venture into value addition and manufacturing. To achieve this, we must have adequate power. Inga is the answer, and I therefore want to take opportunity to wish all of you a very, very fruitful deliberation during this Grand Inga conference. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your initiative and leadership to convene this very special conference. Thank you very much, High Rep for Infrastructure for African Union. And we thank also the experts around the world and those who are following us. We're going to, for the next stage, which is the special part for other moderator and the experts who are going to attend. The next speaker would be the CEO of Three Gorge, Mr. Wang Yu, who's going to make a short remark.
Excellency President Tshisekedi for inviting me to attend this video conference on behalf of China Three Gorges Corporation, or CTG, and the Chinese consortium of Inga 3 project. Please allow me to take this opportunity to express my congratulations on your election as president and your achievements in national governance. Thank you again for the Pan-African Conference on the Grand Inga project and hydroelectricity in the DRC 2020, which gives me the opportunity to introduce CTG and the Chinese consortium to people of DRC and Africa, and to share with you some of our understandings of the Grand Inga project and Inga 3 hydropower project. CTG is now the largest clean energy power generator enterprises in China. Also, it is the only hydropower enterprises worldwide with the capacity and experience in 10,000 megawatts level cascade power plant development. Among current top 10 hydropower stations in the world, including those built and under construction, 5 are constructed and operated by CTG. CTG has the capacity and large-scale hydropower project development, construction, integration of the whole industrial chain, and consultation on major technical issues. Actively responding to the DRC government tender requirements, in 2015, CTG and the State Grid Corporation of China led a Chinese consortium of 6 large companies to integrate advanced strength of the hydropower development, construction, operation, design, and equipment manufacturing in China. On 16 October 2018, the Chinese consortium and the Spanish Pro Inga consortium jointly signed the exclusive development agreement with ADPI. Now, under the guidance of ADPI, we are actively working with the new Spanish consortium and plan to start the next phase of work on the BOT basis. As the world's largest cascade hydropower plant with the largest planned installed capacity, the Grand Inga project possesses great advantages in cascade development, such as controllable technical difficulties, superior natural resources, favorable environmental and migration conditions, and obviously comprehensive benefit, etc. The Grand Inga project, future power engine for African continent development, will surely promote the great leap forward development of the clean power in the DRC and Africa. The benefits are obvious. It will upgrade regional power grid capacity, enhance regional security, peace, and mutual trust, promote local employment, boost regional economic growth and social development, improve production level and the living standards of the local society, and create favorable conditions for the DRC and the whole Africa to get rid of poverty. The sudden outbreak of COVID-19 has brought about a huge negative impact on global economy. The people of both countries are now fighting side by side to defeat this pandemic. Not long ago, the medical materials valued $100,000 donated by CTG for the people of Democratic Republic of Congo have arrived in Kinshasa